Now, demanding answers here tonight. The family of a Houston transgender woman found dead near Brays Bayou. 33-year-old Persia Amara Conway was discovered on Memorial Day, and today her mother made an emotional plea for justice as police await autopsy results. Fox 26's Karys Belger joining us here tonight with more.
Yeah, Anthony, family members repeatedly described Persia as a daughter, a sister, a friend, and a beloved member of Houston's community. But today, they also voiced frustration with what they say has been a lack of answers surrounding her death. Conway's mother says too much attention has been focused on where her daughter was found and not enough on who she was. Family members are now calling on Houston police to provide transparency and keep them informed as the investigation continues.
I sit here before you today not only as a grieving mother, but as a woman demanding dignity, respect, transparency, and justice for my baby girl. Persia Amara Conway was more than a headline. She was more than a statistic. She was more than the labels that have been placed upon her since her death.
Yeah, you know, we were watching that entire vigil take place earlier today. The family obviously heartbroken. So what are they hoping happens next here?
Well, first and foremost, they want answers. They repeatedly called for a thorough investigation, and they say they want anyone who is responsible for Persia's death to be held accountable. That vigil happened tonight where loved ones, advocates, community leaders all gathered to remember Conway's life and show support for her family. Houston police say the investigation remains ongoing. And Anthony, I want to mention, it's Pride Month. This is a time when people would be celebrating their identity as part of the LGBTQ community. That's something they still plan on doing, but they also say they now have safety concerns after Conway's death. Anyone with information is asked to contact HPD Homicide or Crime Stoppers.